It's 6 o'clock, so we'll get started. Good evening and welcome to tonight's public hearing. My name is John Urino. I'm the zoning examiner for the city of Tucson. We have one rezoning case on the docket for this evening. It's case TP ENT 0223-00015 Speedway Storage. Mr. Struve, are you presenting the staff report?
Yes, Mr. Urino, I will be presenting this evening.
Thank you.
So this item is a request to rezone approximately 2.2 acres on East Speedway Boulevard from C1 commercial to C2 commercial. The site encompasses 2 parcels and is currently vacant. It is located approximately 410 feet east of the intersection of East Speedway Boulevard and North Camino Seco on the south side of Speedway. This rezoning would allow the construction of a 2-story personal storage facility that includes a total buildable area of approximately 100,000 square feet. The site's current zoning permits the personal storage use, but restricts maximum building heights to 16 feet. A rezoning to C2 would permit both use and the proposed building height of 30 feet. The proposed rezoning area is covered by both Plan Tucson and the Pantano East area plan. The proposed rezoning is also consistent with the policies contained within both plans. 4 property owner approvals and 1 townhome association approval were received for the site. 0 protests were received. The townhome association noted they would like to see a limitation of the building height to 30 feet and a masonry wall near the site's southern property line. Both the 30-foot maximum building height and the construction of a 6-foot masonry wall are detailed in the project's design compatibility report. Additionally, the 30-foot maximum building height is included as a preliminary condition for the rezoning. The Planning and Development Services Department has reviewed this request and recommends approval of the rezoning subject to the submitted preliminary conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Struve. Would the applicant like to be heard?
Thank you, Mr. Urino. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
You bet. I, as you would expect, have a presentation. I do want Carrie Sylvan with Lazarus and Sylvan representing Johnson Development Associates that's doing the project. I just want to introduce a few people who are here. Greer Gordon is here with Johnson Development. She's sitting across the table from me, so if I mess something up, she might throw something at me. Just kidding. Also on the call, we have Adam Muzinski from SWS Engineering, who's our engineer. I think we have or will have Dale Couture, who's from Ware Malcolm, who's our architect, and Robin Large as well. And I'd like to thank the Tongs and the Tans who are here in force, who are the owners of the property as well. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to all right, are you seeing the PowerPoint?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, awesome. I think that both the staff report, our application, and then the presentation that Mr. Struve just gave really summarize everything. I'm just going to highlight a couple of things. I had a larger presentation in case there were other folks who came in. I'm going to kind of run through, and please stop me. Obviously, if you have any questions. This is where the property is. It's currently vacant. It's on Speedway. It's about 2.19 acres. It's currently zoned C1, and I think you understand why we need the C2. The use is actually permitted. We have a little bit of an older code for self-storage and didn't contemplate these office type self-storage. So we're actually looking for the height that's permitted in C1, but have to rezone it to C2 with the willingness to cap the height at the 30 feet. Staff already talked about the area plan that we are subject to and we're in compliance. This is in all of our materials. That it's what we're proposing is a 2-story self-storage, and it will be 30 feet in height. The access is entirely off of Speedway. We do have the one-way around the building, which is both fire access and the ability for our customers to access, but only through a secured gate. The trash enclosure we had initially put down in the south east corner of the project, and actually at one of staff's first reviews, they asked us to put it down in the southwest corner. The difference, if you look at an aerial, is being adjacent to the townhomes versus adjacent to other parking lots. I think everything else on here is pretty clear. We gave a good explanation in our application of the security. Just to run through it really quickly, we're comfortable with the hours of operation that are stated in the staff report. We have the project staffed from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Sunday, with access to the facility only from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So those are comfortable hours for us. There's cameras, both internal and external, 24-hour remote monitoring. The leases prohibit storage of hazardous flammable materials, perishable goods, and the kinds of things that people don't want stored next door to them. We believe we're compatible with the adjacent uses. What I do want to focus on is the public outreach, because that occurred mainly after we put the application in, other than the neighborhood meeting. So I wanted to let you know that prior to the notices going out for the neighborhood meeting, we went ahead and contacted the Ward 2 office, like we usually do, and asked for the neighborhood association leaders who were going to be contacted to have their contact information so that we could call them. So we contacted about 3 or 4 of the neighborhood associations, let them know that the letter was going to be coming. They asked a few questions, indicated that they would be at the meeting if they heard any concerns or would call us. And we haven't heard anything since those phone calls. We held the neighborhood meeting on January 26th. We had 3 of the townhome owners show up. One was the husband and wife, and she is the president of the association. And then one of their other neighbors, and I've noted that in some of my correspondence. Their questions had to do with they were pleased to hear and see that this was going to be developed, because they've had some issues with transients and unhoused on the property. I forgot to mention, actually, after I sent the notification out, but before the neighborhood meeting, I was also contacted by the owner of the office building that's directly to our west. And he also indicated that he'd had issues with the east side of his building being tagged, and some other concerns, and was happy this was being developed. He just had some questions about the edge treatment and how the building was going to be laid out. I was able to answer those, and he indicated he was comfortable. At the meeting, we answered all of these questions with the townhome neighbors. We stayed in touch with them. One of the big questions that they had was adjacent to the townhomes on our southern boundary. They have a fence that is literally falling apart. And we checked our Altus survey at their request, and it is directly on the property line. So they asked that we work with our contractor, and we will be doing this to remove the fencing when we put up the wall. And so I'm working with the townhome association at the point in time that we're ready to hire the contractor. We'll get their written permission to be able to remove that fencing and then put up the wall. So we worked hard. As you saw, we have the support letter from them. I think we only have support on the project, and overall we're excited about this, and we respectfully request your recommendation to approve. And obviously I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. As usual, very thorough presentation, great outreach to the neighbors. Always appreciated by the neighbors and by the process. So thank you. I don't have any questions. Would anyone in the audience like to be heard on this case? Hearing no one, I'm closing the public hearing. I hope everyone has a safe and lovely evening. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.